Everyone talks about the Karambit like it's the ultimate self-defense blade, but the truth is it's one of the worst choices you can make in a knife fight. From poor reach and weak thrusting to finger-shredding ergonomics and courtroom disaster optics, this flashy agricultural knife is more liability than a weapon. Let's check it out. Now I know I'm gonna piss off you Karambit fanboys, but the truth is, the Karambit is one of the most overrated and practical blades in self-defense. If you're serious about surviving real violence, you need a weapon that performs under pressure, not some flashy gimmick built for fantasy fights. The Karambit fails miserably, and by the time you're done watching this video, you won't just question it. You'll never consider this ridiculous weapon again. And if you want to dive deeper into real-world knife fighting skills, I've got two powerful resources for you. First, my Warblade knife fighting video, which is packed with practical, battle-tested techniques, and it's available for sale on my website at sammyfranco.com. And if you're a War Machine Elite member, you can now stream it for free inside the members-only section of this channel. And if you're not a member yet, just click the join button below to see the different perks and membership options we have available. Second, if you're looking for a complete guide, check out my book Knife Fighting, where I break down everything from knife selection, grips and stances, to footwork, targeting, retention, and so much more. And if you want to go even deeper into cutting strategies for maximum effectiveness, grab a copy of Knife Fighting Targets. It's a detailed book that shows you exactly where to deliver debilitating cuts to end the knife fight fast. I'll drop links in the description down below if you'd like to check it out. Now, some of you will argue that the Karambit will give you an advantage against an unarmed attacker, but that is not the metric. Any blade, including a box cutter, gives you an advantage in a situation. The real question is, how does it perform in a knife fight? Against another weapon, its weaknesses get exposed fast. Let's take a closer look. Let's start with the obvious. The Karambit is terrible for thrusting. It lacks a proper point. Most Karambits have a hook tip, which makes deep penetration difficult, if not impossible. In a real knife fight, thrusting is one of the fastest and most effective ways to stop a threat. That's why historical combat knives like daggers, bayonets, and tantos were built to stab cleanly through flesh, fabric, and even bone. The Karambit can't do that. It glances, it snags, or it simply doesn't go deep enough to even matter. And if your blade can't thrust reliably, it's not a weapon, it's a trendy gimmick. The Karambit also suffers from a painfully limited cutting surface. In short, tightly curved blades offer very little usable edge, especially when compared to more practical fighting blades. That aggressive curve might look intimidating, but in a real knife fight, it reduces the amount of flesh you can cut in a single motion. It forces you to make multiple passes just to achieve the same damage a standard knife could deliver in one clean stroke. The result? Shallow, ineffective cuts that waste time and energy. In a real knife fight, you need a blade that does maximum damage with minimal effort. The Karambit small arc just doesn't deliver. The Karambit is completely outclassed when it comes to long-range knife combat. Its reach is severely limited, and that puts you at an immediate disadvantage against anyone using a longer or straighter blade. In a knife fight, distance equals survival. A few extra inches can mean the difference between life and death. With the Karambit, you're forced to close the gap just to make contact, which is a terrible position to be in against a skilled opponent. You're essentially bringing a claw to a sword fight, and in long-range engagements, that gets you cut or even killed. The Karambit doesn't just cut, it catches. The deep curved blade acts more like a meat hook than a combat knife. In theory, it's supposed to rip and tear. In reality, it gets stuck, and stuck bad. Now, I've seen footage of guys using karambits on a hanging meat carcass. They land a deep slash and the blade snags hard inside the tissue. Next, the training partner will shake the carcass violently, and that hook blade nearly rips his finger off trying to hang on. That's the problem. Once the karambit sinks in, it doesn't want to come out. And in a real fight, you don't get a second chance if the blade hangs up. You want a knife that moves in and out like a scalpel, not one that traps you inside the opponent. There's a risk with the karambit that no one talks about: degloving. And trust me, it's as horrifying as it sounds. If that finger ring locks around your finger and the blade twists during a violent encounter, especially if it snags in tissue or bone, it doesn't just hurt. It strips the skin and flesh right off your finger, exposing raw tendons and bone underneath. Now, I'm not going to show you photos here or I'll get demonetized in a second, but go ahead and Google it. Look up finger degloving injury and see the nightmare that's waiting for you and your teeny little nifty karambit. If you think that ring makes you look cool or tactical, just wait until it peels your finger like a banana. Hey, we're about to get back into the video, but let me ask you something. Do you want to legitimately accelerate your self-defense skills? And are you sick of clickbait videos teaching absolute garbage? Or tired of being misled by unqualified wannabe experts who have zero credibility or experience? If the answer is yes, now is the time to join my War Machine memberships. As a member, you're going to get exclusive access to in-depth training videos, exclusive full-feature video content, downloadable training PDFs, and direct insights you're not going to find anywhere else. Plus, you're going to have direct access to me in the comments section of all my videos. So if you have questions, you're going to get real, detailed answers from me and not some random keyboard warrior. So if you're serious about mastering real-world combat skills, hit the join button below and start training like a true war machine. Now, let's get back to the lesson. Let's talk about draw speed, because in a real confrontation, how fast you get your blade out matters. The karambit's finger ring absolutely kills your speed. Most concealed knife draws rely on gross motor skill movement, something fast, instinctive, and repeatable under stress. But the karambit forces you to thread your finger through a teeny ring. That's fine in a choreographed demo, but in the chaos of a real knife fight, when your hands are shaking, your adrenaline is spiking, and your fine motor skill goes out the window, it becomes a liability. You fumble the draw, or worse, miss the ring entirely. That delay can cost you your life. Now, a self-defense blade needs to come out fast, clean, and reliable. The karambit demands finesse, and finesse gets you killed. Another serious flaw with the karambit is how the finger ring locks you into one grip. Once your finger is inside that ring, you lose the ability to fluidly transition between knife grip styles, like shifting from a hammer grip to an ice pick grip. In a knife fight, grip changes can happen on the fly based on your angle, range, and response to an injury. A good fighting knife gives you that freedom. The karambit does not. You're locked into a single orientation, and trying to rotate that blade or regrip mid-fight is slow, awkward, and dangerous. That's not versatility, that's a design flaw. And in real knife combat, any tool that limits your adaptability is a liability. The karambit doesn't just fail in knife combat, it can destroy you in court. Its exotic curved shape and aggressive design screams murder weapon to the untrained eye. Show that blade to a jury of civilians, and you might as well wave a set of brass knuckles at their face. It looks malicious, theatrical, even sadistic, and that perception matters. In a legal self-defense case, optics are everything. You want your weapon to look functional, not frightening. You want it to say, "I protected myself," not "I wanted to be John Wick for the day." The karambit works against you even before the trial starts. I've got at least 10 more reasons why the karambit sucks for knife fighting. But let's be real. With the attention spans on YouTube, we're gonna cut it short. Besides, if everything I've covered in this video doesn't change your mind, nothing will. In the end, it's your choice, it's your blood. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video.